Alright, what is up all my junkies and addicts of the internet? It's your boy DayZ Gaming here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to edit or change or create your own custom loot spawns in your DayZ server. This is something that I've been asked about in the past, and today I was reading the comments and a individual named Reckless, he specifically asked, hey, I'm having trouble. There's not specific items spawning in my server, but there are, other items spawning in my server. And this was based off the video that I created on how to add the weapon redux pack. And I do understand, I believe I know what the issue is. So today I'm going to assist in trying to solve that and basically just show you guys how to, create your own loot spawns. So first you're going to want to open up your DayZ server. If you don't know how to do that, you're going to go to your, PC, C, wherever you have Steam folder, go to Steam, Steam Apps, Common, and DayZ server. So, if you guys don't know at all what I'm talking about, go back, watch my previous videos on how to create a server, how to port forward your server, and all that good stuff, how to add mods, and we're going to keep going with this little series here. So today I'm going to be showing you once again how to, edit loot spawns. So what you're going to want to do is go to your multiplayer missions, go to offline Shrinars Plus, go to database, and types. So types, if you guys recall, is where here, let me open this with a WordPad so it's a little more legible. Types, if you guys remember, is where we added the types.xml from the weapon redux pack. So the question that I'm being asked specifically by Reckless is I'm getting, I believe he stated that he's getting ammo to spawn, but none of the guns are spawning. So as you can see, I still haven't touched this file. This is a completely separate computer from what I actually run my server on. So this is great because I get to show you guys exactly what yours is going to look like if you followed the last step. I haven't edited anything, I haven't touched anything. So as you can see, I've got all the guns here, I've got all the optics. Everything is exactly as we left it in the last video. So I believe the issue he's having is that all this ammo is spawning, but none of the actual guns are spawning. So a simple solution to this is, you can see how all these have quantity minimum, quantity maximum. This ensures that these things spawn. So if we go up to the guns, this is still magazines, my apologies. Should be about here, GP, yep. So as you can see, quantity min-max is 1 for each of these. So I think it's actually -1. I don't know how that is or why that is, but if you were to say want these actual items in your server, you could simply go to the nominal value, and the nominal value is the rarity of items in your server. So as you can see, let's go back up real quick. A can opener. A simple can opener has a chance of 100 nominal value. I don't know exactly what that translates to items in game. I know there's a minimum requirement of 66 on a server, unless you of course change that to, like, let's say 10. But I'm going to keep that, stock. But of course the nominal value is how rare or how common the item is. Obviously canteen, a bit more rare, so it's 30. Pants, 30, 30, 30, because there's a ton of them. So add up, that's like, over 150, probably over 200 actually, now that I'm looking at the more in-depth version. If you keep going, chem lights, it's all in alphabetical order. So if you are looking for something specific, just check that. Child's bags, backpacks, pretty common. I'm looking for, something that's more, here, let's just do this. Alice, there you go. So Alice bag, this is the field backpack, the massive backpack that has 90 slots. It only has a nominal value of 5, meaning it's extremely rare in, military settings. It is possible to find it, yes, but it is extremely rare. Same deal with the M4 somewhere. I think that's only at like a nominal value of like 2 or 5, something along those lines. So my point here is that because the nominal value for all of these things is at 0 default by the the creator of the mod, you manually need to go in and change them all. So I'm going to change that to 30 because I want a rare amount of shotguns. I'm going to change that to 60 because I want a common amount of shotguns. And if you're wondering where are these things going to spawn, it's very simple. Usage name, town. So as you can see, the trumpet spawns in towns, villages, hunting areas. It's tier 1 and 2. I'm not too sure what that means, honestly, but I've never cared, really. So as you can see, the M249, which is the gun that has, 200 round magazine, box mag, usage name, military. So it's only going to spawn in military locations. But if you wanted to, you could drag from here, control copy, and if you go here, enter, paste, and then go back, delete, space. So now it has a chance of spawning in towns. And if you wanted to be a crazy madman and spawn a absolute smackleton of them, you could just make it, 100,000, 10,000, 1,000 would even spawn a lot. I highly recommend not spawning too many because I've noticed with the Redux pack specifically, I don't have this much trouble with other packs, but with the Redux pack, if you set something to say 200, and then you set the VSS to like, let's say, 300, that's 3,000, that works too. If you set these things to these values, for some reason it will only spawn VSS and you will never find an M249. I really don't know why this is, but that's just how it goes for some reason. Another great thing, guys, if you don't want to type in everything manually, let me try to find it for you. Please, Sky. Yep, here we go. Okay, so this server, or not server, but this website allows you to take your XML file, and if I didn't mess anything up, hopefully I can just drag and drop this in. Oh, perfect. Okay. So sometimes if you have mods installed, it'll say error. Don't worry, your XML file still works. It just doesn't recognize it because it has a mod in it. So this website actually allows you to, change the maximum, which is the nominal value, and the minimum at the same time. So if you wanted to, here's a very clean list. It's no longer like nominal value and this and that and that and this and that, and everything's all, you're afraid of backspacing one too hard, or you're afraid of adding a space or adding an extra 0. It's very, very simple. This website is very cut and dry. You can even sort by, minimum. So if you wanted to, you could manually go through everything. You could type, I want, for the Saiga, which is one of the modded weapons, I want the 8-round mag to have a rarity of, 80. And then I believe it has like a 12-round mag and a 20-round mag. I want the 12-round mag to be a little bit rarer, so let's set that at 60. And I want the 20-round drum mag to be, 10, because I want it to be extremely rare, because that's way too overpowered. Whatever you believe to be the case. And you can also filter. You can sort by weapons specifically. So if you don't want to mess around with all your mods and do all the the annoying stuff of, oh, this mod came with clothes that I don't care about, you don't have to specifically go through every single item. And if you're looking for something, this is a great tool to use. Tools, you can go through and find tents quickly. If you want to make a massive tent community server, you can set that to 1,000, and it's all good. So if we filter by all here, I just want to show you guys how this works real quick. So we're gonna sort maximum, and I'm just gonna hit plus 100. So as you can see, that doubled everything. So water bottles now have a rarity of 400, well, a nominal value of 400, which is a lot. It's gonna make a lot of water bottles in your server. If you want to, I wouldn't suggest it, but you can sync max to min. I've never had luck with this ability, but apparently that for some people it works. It does not work for me. I don't know why. But what this is, in theory, is supposed to do is you say, okay, I want 240 boxes of buckshot, and the server goes, okay, well, that's the nominal value, but you have a minimum requirement of, let's say, 20. So your minimum requirement is not your nominal value. Therefore, you don't need 240, so we're only going to spawn the 20 and then some, because that's the minimum requirement. In theory, what this does is when you sync max to min, it goes, okay, your nominal value is 240 and your minimum value is 240. Therefore, we have to spawn 240 items. But when you do that for everything, I don't think it works. It's not a matter of I don't think it works. It does not work. You cannot have, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of items. I believe there is a maximum, which I want to say is around like 25,000 items, which is a lot of items. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a lot. But when you're adding mods and you're adding items and you're adding, tons and tons and tons of things, try to keep it low, guys. It is possible to make a high loot server. Let me show you what you would do with this. You hit save if this is the file you want. They present to you a XML types file. You save this as, and then it should go into your Steam apps, common, DayZ server, multiplayer missions, offline, Shinaris, database, and you could just save it here. It'll say, do you want to replace it? You would hit yes. I'm going to hit no, simply because I don't want to break my little teaching tool here. So that's that, guys. That's how you would do all that. Once again, real basic here. If you want to make military loot, spawn in towns, copy, paste it into something else. If you want to change the rarity of an item, change it to, let's say, 40 for the Saiga. Oh, it's a 5-round mag, not a fucking... Oh, so 5, 8, 20. Okay, my bad. But, so, if you wanted, you could say, alright, I want that to spawn at 80, I want this to spawn at 50, because that's a bit, 3 extra bullets is a big difference in a gunfight, and 20 is insane, so we're going to set that to 10. So that'll make this pretty common, this a little bit less common, and this pretty rare. And you could say, I only want this to spawn at military locations. Or, if you wanted to, you could say, I only want it to spawn at police locations. That's another thing. So I'm going to show you guys now my actual server. This is the server I run. That's my little admin menu. And I'm going to show you what I have set for some of the nominal values and stuff. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe. Those of you who aren't interested in seeing some of these nominal values, then that's fine. I totally understand. Click away. I get it. Just consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But for those of you who want to stick around, I do have pistol suppressors set up a little bit higher than others. I obviously have a lot of guns set up, and I have a lot of mods set up on the server. If you guys are interested in joining the server, please check the description down below, and there will be a link to the server and some, Discord links, so you can join our Discord for our server. So here you go. So I have the KAC PDW. This I have specifically spawning only at police departments. Now you may be wondering, why do you have this gun spawning at police departments? Well, I have a certain set of guns spawning in each location on my server. I don't want to give away all my secrets, because then, people would just join the server and find the best guns immediately, but I do have specific, here's a taser cartridge for a taser. If I were to find one of those in this police department, but I have, you know, specific items spawning in specific places. So going along with the police department idea, I have let's see here, I've got, you know, the golden desert eagle spawning at police departments. You know, it's something that they confiscated, and as you can see here at AS Val, that's not a that's not a normal spawn for that item. Pistol Togrev, this is also modded. These are both modded items. I have them set to a nominal value of, I don't know, it's pretty common, but I wanted to make a server where it wasn't, here's a Beretta. I wanted to make a server where you could walk into, you know, 5 buildings and find a gun. I didn't want it to where you could walk in every building and find a gun, because what's the point in that? But I wanted to make it to where you could find a pistol, you could find a, you know, okay rifle. You're not gonna find like an M249 walking down the street. You're not gonna find an AK walking down the street. Granted, the AS Val is a pretty good item, but it's kind of weak. It's a little weak. It is suppressed, which is great. Colt 1911, there you go. But there's also, you know, a lot of, here you go, here's a Glock. There's a lot of limitations to it, including range. But I also, the Glock, I have a very common amount. I think I set that to around 200. So, you know, here's a hiking backpack, here's a PP19. You know, like, I made it to where it's feasible. You can find items, you can find loot very quickly. I mean, as you can see, I mean, I can teleport, so it's a little bit different for me. Here's a Glock 18 mag. But like that, I mean, I can teleport, and even if I couldn't teleport, within about, you know, 20 minutes, I found AKs, I found PPs, I found Glocks, I found, you know, all this different stuff. And I have specific locations for each item. Like, I took the time to create the server. And if you do create the, like, take the time out of your day to make your server really good, it can be really good. Here's an RPK mag. Here's the can opener we were talking about. You know, like, it all just takes determination. It's not the easiest process in the world. Granted, I made the server in about a day. And then I'd say it took me about, you know, 4 days consecutively. If I were to combine all the time, it would take me about 4 days consecutively to, you know, install the mods, do all this stuff, get all the nominal values proper. Granted, you're gonna make mistakes. I made tons of mistakes when I first created the server, and it was a pain, because there were times where I had to delete my whole server because I was like, I just can't use this. It's just completely, it's gone. Like, there's no item spawning for some reason. I didn't do anything besides change, like, you know, one nominal value, and suddenly, oh, no items are spawning. Or, you know, you do, like, you try to make a custom loadout, and suddenly there's no items spawning when you spawn in game. Like, not even the base sodas and foods and all that stuff. So you guys just got to keep doing trial and error. If you guys do have any questions, comments, concerns about your server, leave them down below. I'm always reading the comments. I mean, the second I get a comment, I get a notification on my phone, and I love checking and reading your guys' comments. They mean so much to me, because it helps me know that you guys are watching, and that I can, you know, help you get some sort of feedback on these situations. But yeah, I think that's about it, guys. I've explained to you the basics of how I set my server up. I showed you guys how to change the loot spawns in your server. Here you go. So I have the Colt 1911 Demon here, and because it's red, I put it in fire departments. You know, like, it's just things like that. Like, if you take into account, like, not everybody wants the Colt 1911, but if you consider, hey, you know what, this is a relatively rare item on this server, people might be willing to trade it. You know, not saying fire departments are rare, but I set this to a relatively low nominal value for the fire department itself, so it is a rare item in server. Therefore, people might be interested in it more. They might be willing to trade with you. It's a whole central economy that you can set up within your server, and, you know, just have fun with it, guys. I mean, if like I said, if you're having any trouble, just let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you all very much for watching. This is the wrong magazine, I believe. Yep. Alright, well, I tried. Alright, guys. Thank you, and I'll see you guys around.